Well, I'm Bob Nygaard. I've been a Bulldog, so to speak, for almost 40 years, 37 as an employee with the UMD Athletic Department full-time, and a couple years as a student, but I'm a Duluth native, so I've been basically a Bulldog all my life. When I was a student here, an undergrad, I was working for the student newspaper, and the sports information director at the time, which was a student, they didn't have a full-time director at the time, asked if I was interested in helping him out in the sports information department. I've said this many times, I had no idea what sports information was. And so I started working for him, ended up transferring to Wisconsin Eau Claire, and continued to work there as a student. And during that time, it was basically just a sidelight for me. I had planned on going into broadcast journalism or print journalism. And as it ended up, this job was open, and I took it and stayed here for 37 years. Well, that's one thing I take an enormous amount of pride in, the community part. Back in the late 1990s, Bob Korn was the athletic director, and we started pushing that. We always pride ourselves on what we did in the classroom, certainly in competition. But I thought, let's add a third C in community and make that part of our curriculum, so to speak, for our athletes. And it really did take off, and as I look back now, of all the things that I've done, probably that's my biggest accomplishment, was pushing that part of our athletic development. I think in order to survive, I had to change with the times, which I did, but my success, and I've always given top credit to, is the students I had. I've been blessed over the years with an enormous amount of talented kids. And what's really interesting is a lot of those kids, probably 99% of them, didn't end up going into sports information. They were kids that just wanted to help out. I think those coaches were understanding that I had other sports to cover, and they know I gave it their best as much as I could. But there were times, especially when you mentioned football and hockey, 2 years specifically when the football team won national championships, that season ended just before Christmas. Okay, hockey's halfway done by that time. I look back now and say, how do I did it? I wouldn't change it for the world because it was a lot of fun, but I really appreciated the coaches giving me that leeway and respecting that I was doing the best I could with what I had. So I think we had some great relationships, and those folks still remain good friends.
Bob was a guy that was always here to support us in any way that he could. Always came into the office every day with a smile, looking for an opportunity to help give exposure to our athletic department and our football program.
Obviously, he had a ton of experience because he's been around, knows a lot of people. I mean, obviously very instrumental in a lot of things, certainly the Hobie Baker promotions of all our award winners. You know, again, just a well-respected guy in the business. Certainly I consider him a really good friend and certainly someone that was instrumental in helping UMD hockey get better.
Well, first of all, to have anything named after you, whether it's a building, a street, a facility of any kind, a scholarship, is extremely, extremely touching. When that was mentioned to me that this was going to be done, I never expected it. To put it briefly, it's pretty cool.
This amplifies what Bob Nygaard's all about. Really, he was about a guy that wanted to be behind the scenes, to be able to make everybody around him better, and it's a well-deserved honor for Bob Nygaard and his family. He gave a lot to this place over a very long career. We appreciate everything he's done. Well,
it's certainly very well deserved. Like I said, you know. He was UMD Athletics, right? Probably knows more than anybody about everything that went on there. Obviously was a great supporter and instrumental in our hockey program. So it's a great honor. It's a well-deserved honor. So it's something that I know he's very proud of, and certainly something that's going to last forever.
Getting something named after you, especially the press box, which for 12 years was my kind of home away from home at AMSOIL Arena, and the deck obviously before that, is really something special.